Hello and welcome to the President's Message for September already. I'm Brenda Olacy and I'm delighted as always to be joined by our 24 President Vienna Laurendi. Welcome, Vienna.
Hi, Brenda. Glad to be here.
And we have a special guest this time, your presidential advisor, none other than your dad,
Yes.
longtime realtor, of course, Carmen Laurendi. Carmen, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you on board. First time you brought in reinforcements, Vienna.
It gets very intimidating being, the interviewee, so I thought I'd put someone else under the heat.
Good idea, although you do a wonderful job.
Thanks.
So obviously a lot of changes have happened. We're watching this video in September, but August 17th was a momentous day in the real estate industry, Vienna.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to your dad a little bit later about a couple of other things, but we'd be remiss if we didn't start out with the changes.
Absolutely.
And there's been a lot of publicity about the changes, including this full-page ad that ran in major newspapers across the state. State President Joe Rivellino put together a video that has been produced and distributed, as did your own president, Vienna Laurendi, who put together a video about this very issue. Vienna, in a nutshell, how are things going with this lawsuit and the ramifications of it?
So I'm going to say that probably some big relief right off the bat is the fact that we did not, as practitioners, have to go back to all of our current active clients and rewrite everything. One of the fears from the majority of brokers and agents was that we were going to have to re-sign brand new listing contracts, brand new exclusive right to sell contracts with our customers that were already in place prior to August 17. And the relief that was provided was that really just a disclosure is all that was necessary, that compensation is not set by law and is always negotiable. And so starting August 17th, we did have to go back to our current customers just with that disclosure that the realtor had to make to the client. Client has to acknowledge it and sign it, have that on file just in case our files get opened up by New York State or Department of Justice. And so that was probably the largest relief, because the fear of having to go back to whether you've got 6 listings or 60 buyers, geez, I've got to go and meet with all of these people right away and have full-blown contracts re-signed. No, that wasn't the case. Just a disclosure was necessary.
Well, I imagine you're getting a lot of feedback, Vienna, both from your clients and also fellow realtors. What sort of reaction are you getting on both sides?
So I think that so far a lot of the fear that was originally generated has subsided. Business really truly is as it always has been. We are the professional. We do bring value to every single side of the transaction, no matter which side of the table you sit on. And once we were able to reassure our clients that our value has not changed, our services are still the exact same, and that they are still being well protected, compensation is something that we've always earned. Nobody ever expected us to do something without getting paid. So the fear of the job changing or the representation changing, once that subsides, we're doing business as usual.
Is it fair to say that it's all about transparency?
100% it's all about transparency. So prior to 2024, specifically with buyers, we may not have been talking about compensation openly as we do with a seller. Seller, it's automatic. Before we even put the sign in the front yard, it is openly talked about, and they're signing a contract about compensation. With buyers, maybe not so much, because it's less formal, if you will. Now we're formalizing it, and buyers are gelling to the new process very quickly and easily.
Change is always difficult, but I know you're available to our membership, your fellow
Absolutely.
Realtors, brokers, all the folks who work in this business in Vienna can always be reached with an email right to you through the BNAR website,
Yeah.
and also your phone number, of course.
I prefer email if possible. president@bnar.org is the best way to reach me. And I'll tell you, that email is also a second eyeballs through our staff here at BNAR. So if any particular reason I am not available, they also can raise a red flag and say, hey, we've got a member who needs some attention very quickly.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, here it is September, Vienna, and we've done these videos all year long, which has been an absolute pleasure. Great working with you.
Thank you.
And we've talked a lot about your dad being your presidential advisor. So, Carmen, I want to bring you in. What's it been like for you to be the presidential advisor and to see your daughter ascend to the head of the BNAR Association as president?
It's very, very welcome to me. I know what her job is. I know what she thinks about. and I'm here to kind of give a different perspective on it. And when she listens to me, that's great. When she doesn't, that's okay. But the idea is I'm here to advise, and if she wants to take my advice, fine. If not, that's okay. But I have to get the other side of the story.
And what a year to be in when all these major changes are happening.
Yes.
So it's probably wonderful for you, Vienna, to have a sounding board, to get a different perspective, especially since your dad has been in the business for how many years?
43.
Is that all? Okay.
Well, totally, because when I was born into the real estate
Yes.
profession, buyer's agency was already there. It wasn't until the 1990s that a buyer's agent was born, if you will. But he started practicing in the 80s, very early 80s, 80 or 81. So in 1980. So he recalls what it was like when it was just seller's agents and everybody was working directly for the seller. So to bring it full circle to what we're dealing with now in 2024 has been very educational.
And Carmen, you still work as a realtor, correct?
Yes, I do.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. So you're still in the business in the midst of it, in addition to being the advisor. And I want to point out how important it is for directors to be active in our association of some 3,400, 600, depending, it varies, but a very robust organization. So why would you encourage someone to get involved in the association and to be a director?
It's easy for me to say because I'm always involved, and you should be involved because it's important to the association and to the membership that people who are in the business are getting involved, and so that's what I try to do, is get them involved, and hopefully that encourages them.
We're shooting this a little bit before the elections, Vienna, which are September 18th.
Yes.
So depending on when you watch this, it may already be done. But the point is, Carmen, why should other realtors care about who's elected a director? Why would it matter to people who are working hard every day to make a living?
It matters because it's involved in your association to bring these things available to people, to give them a sense of, hey, we need you to give your advice. And we need that in order to get people involved. But people ask me, well, why would you want to get involved? You've been in this a long time, you don't need this anymore. I feel it is necessary to get people involved. And that's what I try to do.
Even though your dad has 4 decades of experience in the business, it's important, on the other hand, to bring in fresh blood, young blood, right?
Agreed. And so, on September 18th, Wednesday, September 18th, and I know everybody has signed up for it. It is our member election night, but it is our annual member meeting. It's going to be at Salvatore's Wednesday, September 18th, 5:30 to 7:30. You sign up on your member portal. We have several excellent candidates that are running for director this year. In fact, the interviews went really well. We have a full slate, and it is so crucial that everyone who is eligible to vote, that they learn who the candidates are, actually, give them a buzz and find out what it is that they would like to accomplish as a director in 2025. And then come to the annual meeting, hear CEO John Leonardi's message, listen to me as I give my message for 2024, and vote for the directors that are going to be providing you with the tools necessary to be successful in 2025.
Great advice. Carmen, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Nice to have you on board, Vienna, as always. Thank you for your
appreciate
time.
you, Brenda.
My
Thank you.
pleasure. We'll see you next time with the October President's Message. Appreciate you joining us, and thank you.